The ICT sector is fundamentally important to the future of Northern Ireland's economy, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, there are those companies that use the technology. So any business can use this technology to help themselves get more sales or help themselves reduce costs. So it's using the technology, and that's for everybody. And every business in Northern Ireland should be thinking about how we can use this technology to become more competitive. And secondly, the ICT sector is important to the Northern Ireland economy because of those companies that produce the technology. So those companies developing new information and communication technologies. And that can be indigenous companies, companies like Kainos or Asidua or Singularity, or it can be internationally owned companies like New York Stock Exchange or Citigroup or other companies, Liberty Mutual, companies like that. The ICT sector itself, so those companies producing the technology, is very valuable and becoming more valuable to the Northern Ireland economy. So the value in sales is probably approaching about £2 billion a year. We have about 15 to 17,000 people employed in ICT sector now in Northern Ireland. So it's growing dramatically, and it's growing both by indigenous companies taking advantage of the market opportunities that are there, and also it's a great opportunity for inward investment into Northern Ireland as well, and we've seen a number of successes there too. So we will invest in Northern Ireland. We'll work with the companies. We're particularly keen that we have the right skills base. Now this is important for inward investment, for indigenous companies, but also for all of those companies that want to use the technology, that Northern Ireland is ahead of the game in knowing how best to use those technologies. So if you're in any sector, say you're in the transport sector, you're in the construction sector, that you can use these technologies to improve your business, and you have access to people who know best. So the universities, both Queen's and the University of Ulster, are investing heavily in this area. The University of Ulster is one of the largest courses in the UK in IT, and we are working very closely with the Department of Employment and Learning to make sure that we have the right number of graduates coming out who have the knowledge in this area to give Northern Ireland the advantage. The government is pursuing a number of policies to encourage the use of ICT in Northern Ireland, but fundamental to all of this is that we need to make sure that we have our infrastructure right. And there are a number of policies to ensure that the infrastructure is in place and it is world class. So, for example, one of the largest investments that we've had in this area recently has been Project Kelvin. Project Kelvin is a €30 million investment, and what it does for local businesses is it is the first time that we have a direct link between North America and Northern Ireland. The first time that we've had that. And what that means is it improves the speed. So if you're doing business with the States, you can do it faster, albeit very marginally, but it does give you an improvement. It also improves resilience. So it means that the security of the system and the threat of connections being lost is reduced. And thirdly, it improves price, because we want to remain competitive on price. So that's Project Kelvin, and that's looking at the infrastructure. We're very keen to make sure that there is good competition in the infrastructure as well, and Northern Ireland is very, very well placed for this on a competitive market. Then we want to encourage businesses to use the technology, to be aware of it. So Log On NI is an initiative that the government has promoted to make sure that companies are aware of the benefits of broadband and the technology. And that's a facility that's based in Omagh, but there's also a travelling unit that goes around Northern Ireland advertising and letting businesses, SMEs, know the benefits of broadband. In addition to that, Invest Northern Ireland has its eSolution Centre, which is on the ground floor of the Invest Northern Ireland building. It's open to anybody. And basically what this does is it's an impartial centre that allows any business to come in and say, how can I use this technology to improve my business, and provides advice in a number of different technology areas. And also, government then is encouraging our investment in infrastructure in broadband. So 100% broadband is an initiative that was introduced a number of years ago to make sure that all of Northern Ireland has access to broadband, and Next Generation Broadband is an initiative to make sure that businesses have access to the top quality broadband that is available. So those are a number of initiatives. The final one is the Broadband Innovation Fund, which is basically a fund that's available for businesses that wanted to trial new innovations in the use of broadband, particularly in rural areas. In addition to all of that, Invest Northern Ireland works with its clients through its ICT advisors to say, how can you use this technology to help your business, to either secure new sales or to reduce your costs. Now, securing new sales might be because you have a web presence and you're reaching new markets. It might be talking to your customers through a telepresence. It might be, or webinars. It might be using management information systems to get better information to make decisions. So there are a vast range of ways that people can use the technology to increase their sales or reduce their cost, fundamentally improving the productivity of Northern Ireland.